Throughout the Star Wars movies and TV shows, we've seen countless clone troopers and stormtroopers get killed on screen, whether it's from being blasted or being blown to bits. So what happened to their corpses afterwards? For clones, the subject of what happened to their dead bodies hasn't really been explored, aside from a few isolated cases. The first case is Clone Trooper Abel, who was shot down onto an uninhabited planet, along with his team during a space battle. He was the only survivor, and he was stranded for the next 20 years. He went on to bury all of his comrades, and their graves would go unnoticed until Luke Skywalker discovered them decades later. Another case was with the Clone Commando Galar Squad, which went on to give one of their fallen companions a proper cremation. So from these two cases alone, it seems that during a mission, that clone troopers themselves would either bury or cremate their dead, depending on the situation and if they had time to do so. Otherwise, clone bodies would be left on the battlefield, where they would later be recovered by the Republic after the battle was over. The armor and equipment from the dead clones would be taken and repaired for future use. The bodies themselves seemed to go through a recycling vat which salvaged their biological material for possible reuse, which is what happened to Clone Trooper CT-914 and his platoon after they were killed in battle. So we assumed that that was the standard protocol for all dead clone bodies that the Republic itself retrieved. Essentially, the clones were treated no better than droids when it came to death, as it was common for destroyed droids to get turned back into scrap metal so they could be reused to create new droids. Also, we can assume that clones that were killed in massive space battles, where their bodies were sucked into the vacuum of space, were most likely left there afterwards, as by the time the battle was over, the bodies most likely drifted so far away that it just wouldn't be worth it for the Republic to send out retrieving parties just to recollect them for their armor and their biological material. When it came to stormtroopers, their dead bodies were cremated within the Imperial crematorium on Coruscant. It's not exactly clear if all Imperials and stormtroopers' bodies were cremated at this crematorium, or if it was just one of the many within Imperial territory. Seeing how Coruscant wouldn't have any space to bury its dead, it does make sense that the bodies of the soldiers from Coruscant would be cremated. With that being said, it's possible that some Imperials and Stormtroopers were buried if their families lived on planets where it was practical and common to do so. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, may the Force be with you.